Good afternoon and welcome to Fitzgerald Fieldhouse on the campus of the University of Pittsburgh for this afternoon's Converse All-American Cage Classic Championship game. I'm Randy Cosgrove. With me is Ernie Kusnyer of Converse, and we have a great basketball game for you today. The Gauchos from New York City and New York Riverside Church. Ernie, you and the Converse people have done a tremendous job bringing in talent to Pittsburgh for this Converse All-American Cage Classic. You are to be commended.
Well, thank you, Randy. We've had tournaments all over the country, and now we come down to this final site here in Pittsburgh, and we have the best teams out of the tournament. They're both from New York City.
Two New York City teams, as I said. One team led by Kareem Reed, the guard going to Arkansas to play for the Razorbacks, the NCAA champion, and Stephon Marbury for the Gauchos. He just happens to be the best underclass player in the country heading into next year. What a great job you've done. Talk about these two teams quickly.
Well, the Gauchos being out of New York, they have Stephon Marbury, who we're going to get to see a lot of. When I've seen him play before, I thought he was left-handed, but he's actually right-handed. He can go either way. And over here with the Riverside Church team, we've got Kareem Reed and O'Donnell Foyle, who's obviously going to Colgate.
Great players, great basketball this week in Pittsburgh, and we're happy to have the championship game for you on KBL. I'll be back with Ernie. We'll have the introduction of the starting lineups right here on KBL. The Converse All-American Cage Classic here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Welcome back to halftime of the Converse All-American Cage Classic Championship Contest. I'm Randy Cosgrove, and as promised, our very special guest here at halftime is Larry Bird, the former All-American at Indiana State University and All-Pro, Boston Celtic great, future Hall of Famer. First of all, Larry, it's a great pleasure to have you here in Pittsburgh for this Cage Classic final hosted by Converse.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
I heard you say earlier in the press conference that you've been in Pittsburgh one time earlier in your career, but you've been through the Pittsburgh airport many times.
Many times, over 1,000 times probably, so I know it pretty well.
You look tan and invigorated. Tell us where you've been the last couple of weeks. Look, you've been playing some golf.
Yeah, I play a little golf. I live in Naples, Florida, and I've been on probably a 4 or 5 day trip to Phoenix and watched some college players play, so I still travel around quite a bit.
Larry, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions that many of our viewers are probably asking themselves. Do you miss basketball? All this talk with Michael Jordan and now Isaiah Thomas going to leave the game, and of course Magic has left the game. Do you miss the game?
Not now. I did the first couple months when they had training camp a couple years ago, but now I don't miss it at all. I had a great career. I played a lot of basketball in my life. I lived and died basketball for over 20 years, so it's really a good change for me to get away from it.
What do you think about all the talk of the former great players maybe getting into coaching or management? Any of that for you maybe down the road after you're out of basketball for a while, coaching, ownership, management?
I don't know. You never know about me. I get bored pretty easily, so if I get too bored, I might go into some capacity. But I still work a little bit for the Celtics in their front office and keep my hands in a little bit. It's been enjoyable for me to go around and watch the different players play and try to do something to help our team get better. And so right now, I'm sort of in between. I don't know what I want to do, so I'll take my time and figure it out. One of these days, I might get into coaching or general manager or some capacity.
What will it take for the Celtics to get back to that upper echelon basketball?
Some good players. It's just like anybody. If you have the great players, you're going to win. We have some decent players, but we don't have the superstars. We've had some bad luck with Reggie Lewis, and Kevin and myself have been injured a lot of years, and we're getting a little bit older. So what we have to do is get some young players to come in and get the job done for us.
Larry, you're with Converse, a Converse endorser, and certainly the Converse All-American Cage Classic is a great tournament around the country for not only senior players but underclass. What do you think of the concept with the team format as opposed to just a pure all-star game?
I think it's better because when you get all-star, I never did like all-star games anyway, but when you get all-star game, you get kids trying to do things that they can't do. It's a little sloppy. Whereas when you have your own teams here, it's more organized. The coaches know what each player can do, and guys are not out to prove that they're better than the other all-star. They're just out trying to help their team win.
And Converse has been heavily involved in youth basketball for many years, and now they're having an even greater push, and I'm sure that has to make you happy.
Sure is. Anytime you get a sponsor like Converse behind you, it's got to make it better. I've been wearing Converse for almost 30 years. So I started out with the canvas, and I've been a big fan of theirs for years and years.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you before we closed, how is your back? How are you feeling physically?
Feel pretty good. My back's come a long way in the last couple years. So I had a fusion done about a year ago, and it's starting to feel very good. I can play a lot of golf. I can do some things. I really haven't worked out that much, but I'm going to try to get back into that this summer.
And last question, what do you think about your peer, Michael Jordan, playing baseball? I know that as a competitor, you probably look at that as, hey, that's Michael. But what do you really think about that?
Well, he's a competitor. There's no question about that. Whatever Michael wants to do is fine with me. He already proved that he's one of the best basketball players in the world. And he has a dream that he wants to play Major League Baseball. Whether that'll happen or not, I don't know. And like I said earlier, I really don't care. But I want to wish Michael the best because he's a great guy. Michael's one of the nicest guys that you can possibly bear around. So whatever Michael wants to do, and if he's happy with what he's doing, I'm happy.
Well, Larry Bird, we're extremely happy to have you here in Pittsburgh for the Converse All-American Cage Classic. It's our pleasure, and many years of continued success, good health, and who knows, maybe you will be coaching or in management of the NBA. We'd love to see you back in the game.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Larry Bird, one of the greatest of all time, maybe the greatest of all time, here in Pittsburgh for the Converse All-American Cage Classic. Back with more of our halftime show right after these messages.